Hello everybody, Dokkan Assets here. Today we are back with another figure news video, and we have a ton of figure news to cover today. Some stuff that I am super excited to cover. Lots of great stuff happened in the world of figures this week, some of it even relating to Dokkan. I do apologize, by the way, that this video didn't go up on Sunday. I was just doing some things with the fam, but technically I'm recording this on my Sunday, like during the night time, so it kind of counts. But let's get into what we got for the figure news today. This is probably going to be a longer one, like I just said, so I don't want to say let's not dilly-dally, but I guess we could take our time. We'll do the opposite. So we already took a look at these guys, but as we can see here, we do have some release dates for these. Big Bad Toy Store has announced pre-orders for the upcoming prize figures slated for February, and it looks like they will come overseas in March 2021. Very good stuff. Obviously this is Goku, Frieza, Gogeta, and Vegito. Now, two things about this. One, I did order this Frieza, so I will be doing a review on him, so that'll be a good time. As well, one thing I've noticed that's interesting, and I might make a separate video about this, but I think that prize figures have gone up in price on a lot of different websites, because usually the standard for normal Dragon Ball prize figures has been $20 for a long time, but recently I've seen them more around $25 on sites that used to have them all for 20 bucks, which I think is kind of interesting to me. And it was interesting as well because I also saw this reflected in the Ichiban KUJI figures. Let's actually see, can we use Big Bad Toy Store as an example here? With Big Bad Toy Store as well, I was also seeing some figure prices rise with Ichiban KUJI figures. Yeah, you can see here, these guys are all a little bit more expensive than the $20 price point. Even the Dokkan figure, whatever that's going to be from Banpresto, is a little bit more expensive than usual. And here we go. Here's another example right here. Ichiban KUJI figures now seem to be more so closer to $40, which I think is interesting. As you can see, here's another one here. Here's another one here. And these have always been $35 as their main overseas price point. So I think that is pretty interesting, and also just something for you to consider as a collector. But I also wanted to include that in the news video because I feel like that is a piece of figure news, and I don't really think I've heard anyone in the figure collecting community talk about it. And it's only for certain websites, it seems, and it only is for like just KUJI and prize figures, but some sites haven't raised their prices. But it was just odd to me because I saw a ton of websites raise their prices and all at the same price point raise, so I thought that was kind of interesting to mention. Let's go ahead and move on, though. We do have a update for the SH Figuarts Raditz. Update, Premium Bandai just announced a pre-order for this figure. Sadly, it's through Premium Bandai instead of your favorite online retailer. You can also purchase from Big Bad Toy Store, but it does cost a little bit more. Retail is $70 as we previously guessed, but it will be closer to $85 with tax and shipping. Item will go out April 2021, and you can pre-order yours here. So we did talk about this guy a little bit before, but I believe we only had that first promo image there. You are no earthling. You are a Saiyan warrior, a member of the most powerful race in the universe. And I am your Raditz. I can't say it. I'm Raditz, your older brother. I love that double Sunday pose that they got going on for him. That looks fantastic. 3 interchangeable face parts, folded arms included, and tail parts. That is really cool. I hope that they do more stuff like this for the future, because I don't think I've ever seen SH Figuarts promotional stuff that shows everything that comes with the figure. That's actually really cool. So obviously this tail piece is here if you just want a little loop around the tail. You have the actual tail there. Of course, you have the cross-arm piece that a lot of SH Figuarts figures have. And these are actually some great expressions for Raditz. I particularly like these two. I think those are fantastic. And this is a great one to include, because obviously that's the expression that he makes when he gets hit with the special beam cannon right through the chest. That would be a really cool custom to actually have that as like a little hole in his chest. That would be kind of be ruining it, but also be really cool. But nonetheless, though, good stuff for the SH Figuarts Raditz. Now, this was a huge thing in terms of Dokkan And in terms of figure news, I actually did make a little figure news flash video on this, but I did say in that video that I was still going to talk about it in this video. So here we are. We have the upcoming Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle 6th Anniversary Ichiban KUJI, and I have to say these figures look absolutely fantastic. If you remember last year's Ichiban KUJI with the Super Vegito, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the UI Goku, so on and so forth, I didn't think that those figures looked that good. Funny enough, I actually picked up a couple of recently to do some reviews on them, but I didn't think that they looked as good, and certainly not as good as these guys as a collective. These figures look absolutely fantastic. Some great options to choose from as well. I did give my thoughts a little bit more in that video about the detail on each of them, but I do think that Godku is probably the strongest figure here in terms of sculpt, overall, everything, and Gohan, in my opinion, is the weakest. I've seen some people saying that they don't really care for the Trunks, and they don't really care for the Goku Blackface. I can understand that, but at the same time, I still think that Godku is the best, and I think that these faces for these three are okay. They're not as good as they could be, but I definitely think that they're not as bad as they could be. And I still think that Gohan looks the worst, despite a lot of people saying that he doesn't. Though we will get to some production images later in the video that might change my opinion, because they do look pretty good. But nonetheless, this was super cool that this got announced. Ichiban KUJI, who is behind the figures for drawing prize, just announced their Dokkan Battle 6th Anniversary figures. There's a total in 5 and include a mix of Dragon Ball Z, Super, and GT characters. This is scheduled to be released in February of 2021 and will cost 680 yen to play once. That's obviously in Japan. No announcement of the last one figure yet, but we do know what prize F will be a bottle, prize E will be a clear case, and prize F will be a clear file set. Interesting. I'll have to definitely get some of those because I assume they'll use Dokkan art. Since we will be able to purchase these figures right out here in the US, stay tuned for pre-order announcements. These are actually available for pre-order right now on Amazon for 36 bucks a pop. If you would like to pick them up, I did leave links to them in the description on the video where I talked about the 6th anniversary LRUI Goku, but I'll leave some links to them in the description below as well. If you use that link, you are supporting me because it's my Amazon affiliate link. I get a little cut if you order from there, so I'd greatly appreciate it. 36 bucks for each of these I think is a fantastic price, obviously with the price point that I think is right for Ichiban KUJI figures, which is 35 bucks. 36 is basically perfect. And I did buy all of these, by the way. I bought every single one, so I will be doing a review on every single one of these when they come in February of 2021, so definitely keep your eye out for that. We did also have the release of this Ichiban KUJI, which, ooh, I am very excited to show you some of the final pictures of some of the figures from this KUJI. Man, this KUJI low-key blew me out of the water, and I was not expecting it. Ichiban KUJI announced their latest raffle figures for October, and these include the characters from both Z and Super. The last one prize is a Sophobia of Ozaru Vegeta, about a foot tall. Kind of want this. Me too, bro. We'll see later. Below the list of figures, along with the non-prize figures, you can play this raffle here, but eventually these figures should be available to purchase. So, we obviously have the Masteralized Goku with the Masteralized Extra Jiren, which, by the way, we'll take a look at some images of that man later. He's very impressive. Masteralized Gogeta. Another reprint of the King Cluster Broly, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and Kid Buu as well. The last one prize is this amazing Vegeta. Again, we'll take a look at some more images of all these guys later. We did also take some images, yes, I wish. We did also take a look at some images of these guys in past figure news videos, and these were the minor prizes. We did also look at that before, but those are officially announced, so we will we'll actually get to see some of that stuff a little bit later again as well. A bit late, but we have basically just October amusement prize figures. This was everything that came out this month in terms of prize figures in Japan. So obviously, if you got any of these overseas, they should be coming fairly soon, unless there's obviously some shenanigans with shipping. This was quite interesting, though. They did release another set, Volume 2 of the GT collectible figures. I did see a review on these, and I wasn't really a fan of them, and they didn't seem to do well. From what I was seeing from numbers and from Baggy's Twitter and whatnot, these figures did not seem to do well, which I suppose is kind of a good thing because I don't know who asked for this, but at the same time, it's also like, you know, I feel bad that people who would want it, you know, would kind of saying that to them because, I mean, I think that GT should have a WCF line attached to it, but at the same time, it's like, bro, who's looking for a Super Saiyan, you know, like, student Gohan figure. I don't know. But nonetheless, though, all of these guys have been officially released. Some good stuff here. This is a pretty good Bulma figure, all things considered. A decent Super Saiyan Goku if you don't have one. We're not even going to talk about the Q Pasocket line because I'm not a real fan of it. But nonetheless, also the Super Saiyan 4 Goku that had some very interesting shading was released as well. This is going to be our last thing on dbzfigures.com. Oh boy, this was quite interesting to say the least. Dragon Ball Allies Piccolo Daimao announcement. Premium Bandai just announced a new figure featuring Piccolo Daimao sitting on his chair. There are two versions. The standard has a homie really said cooler color scheme. I can see the bias. And with a variant with a warmer color. Oh, he meant literally cooler and warmer color scheme. I thought he meant that was his opinion. Cost is a bit higher than your standard figure at 27,500 yen, or roughly $275 with a release date of March 2021. We will update once pre-orders are announced. This guy actually does look pretty cool. There is a lot of really interesting things that comes to this guy. This guy is obviously just a statue, so it's not like you're going to be getting any posability out of this. But this is really cool, and I like that they did both colors because they honestly didn't have to do that. But I think it looks really good. I honestly think, funny enough, my favorite thing about this is actually the throne. As much as Piccolo Daimao looks really, really good, in my opinion, the sculpting on the throne and the like minor shading and detail throughout, oh, beautiful. Looks very, very good. But I like that they did both with both color schemes. I think I like, funny enough, I almost think that I like the colors of the first throne a little bit more. But I almost like this look for Piccolo Daimao a little bit better just because I feel like it fits his Dragon Ball look a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But nonetheless, though, a very good looking figure. I don't think I'll be getting this guy. This is a really expensive figure, obviously, with it being $275. I assume it's going to be pretty big because obviously it's kind of hard to tell from these images. Of course, I'm sure once we get the pre-orders and stuff like that, we'll have a little bit more information on that sort of thing. But for me to get this guy has to be huge. Like, he has to be as big as a resin statue, or like that really old King Cold Ichiban KUJI statue, where like I'm talking this thing has to be like a foot or two big to warrant like getting this thing. Because if this thing is the size of a normal prize figure, even though the detailing and sculpting on it is fantastic, I still don't think it's worth that much. Nonetheless, though, very, very cool that we're going to be getting that. And more Dragon Ball figures are always welcome, no matter the price. All right. Moving on, of course, shout out to the homies over at dbzfigures.com as always holding it down with the great figure news. So let's go ahead and move on to Baggy's Twitter here as per usual. We did have the production images for these guys, a little bit cleaner ones and stuff like that, go up. We also had the heights and all of that good stuff for them. Very, very cool, actually. This is a great Vegito statue, I will say. I don't think I'm going to get it because I have plenty of Super Vegetos already. But this is a pretty good sculpt, all things considered. You can see the fantastic detailing all throughout. Look at that, bro. That is some great detail on all of the clothing. Even the marks on his skin look really cool. It almost kind of looks like he put like war paint on his face in a weird sort of way. But nonetheless, though, very cool. And I think that the eyes will look better from the other angle because he looks a little bit odd like this. But obviously he's supposed to be like, you know, his head is crooked looking to the side, right? But nonetheless, though, this is a fantastic figure. And the FES line has never let me down when it comes to detail on a figure. So to be expected. This was also big. We talked about this a little bit last time, but it looks like the Super Master Stars Peace Goku and Gotenks will release in Asia and presumably Australia too. Looks like the ROS Goku is indeed intended for a West-only re-release. Moving on, obviously more measurements here. So, of course, we did talk about the Dokkan 6th anniversary figure last time. And 6th anniversary. Oh, it'll be 18. Okay, interesting. All right, not Android 18. Don't get it twisted, bro. All right, moving on here. Let's keep on keeping on. So, No box on the last prize, or last one. I always call the last one figures last prize, and it's a terrible habit to get into because that's not actually what it's called. But the last one is ours, so I assume it'll be like Golden Zara with a Japanese packaging was just a bag. Probably will be more beneficial shipping wise, which is true. And you guys will actually see that in a little bit here. Oh yeah, this was funny. Figured I'd mention this in the video. Bro, they literally made Dragon Ball Super boxers, bro. Why? It's cool. I would definitely buy that if I had the opportunity to. This was also something else to consider. These figures have already been released, but a good little comparison to show you sometimes Bandai ain't so bad. Vegeta must better compared to the production images. Arm being higher makes a world difference, and you can see how detailed the jacket is too. Yes, the jacket is super, super detailed there, and I do think that the arm being up is a little bit better as well. Goku Black did turn out pretty well. I will say, I think that the hair sculpt is a little bit weird. But I think that the face definitely looks better than the original production images. I don't know. You can let me know what you think in the comments. We already took a look at this with the Dokkan Metal figures. By the way, it does seem... Let me see. Where does Baggy mention it? Here. Super Saiyan God Goku will at least be the lead marketing for the KUJI until the SP award gets revealed just before release. Overseas pre-orders should start next week, which they've already started. Again, link in the description. As it seems, we're following the pattern of the January... Oh! KUJI. And a big boy size for this guy, 22 cm. Very, very good stuff. Not too big, not too small. I like it. I like it a lot. I think that the effect pieces on this guy are fantastic. I'm saving my thoughts for a little bit later because we have more angles of these guys to look at later. Wow, BBS cotton fabric. Very cool. Japan only. Very, very interesting. This would be cool to make into like pajama pants or something like that. So I'm sure you guys have seen these. These are apparently the prototype images for the Chibi Master figures, these guys, which we've talked about before. Very, very cool. It's always interesting to see prototypes for different figures and things like that, because I feel like that's something that we never get to see. Obviously, you know, being the consumer, that's typically not something that we get to see, but I feel like they're never even, like, shown anywhere, you know, so it's always cool to see that sort of thing. Yes, this was a very odd choice. For Europe only, May 2018, UI Ichiban KUJI re-release for the February block. Oh, looks like it's releasing next month. This is such an odd choice to me. You can see even here I said why. Because not only do I personally think that this is one of the weakest MUI Goku figures that we have, in person, funny enough, it looks a lot worse than this production image. But this figure has been re-released more times than I can count, bro. It is ridiculous how many times this guy has been released. And I don't know why. Because I don't even think he's that good of a figure. I don't know if, like, he's just marketable. If people like the pose. I don't know. It's just really silly to me. But I don't know. Also, apparently, we did talk about the GX Materia Goku Black that will be coming in April. We talked last time that there are a bunch of figures coming where we didn't have the images for them, but we just had the names and stuff, which is the release schedule. Apparently, he's going to have the Scythe, or well, hopefully we'll have the Scythe. Baggy says, try. I don't want to misinform you there. Hopefully we'll have the Scythe, because that would make the most sense when it comes to the GX Materia line. Obviously, the GX Materia line up until this point has been all like Kamehameha and, well, I guess Frieza's Death Ball, right? So either that, or I suppose maybe Rose's hand key sword, but that would be kind of disappointing because we got a figure of that a while ago. Was that an FES figure? I don't think it was an FES figure. I think the FES figure didn't have one. I know that there's an older Rose that has the hand beam, and that one's still pretty solid. The only one that we have of the Scythe is one where the effect is cool, but it's the Bampresser World Figure Coliseum Rose. But the Scythe is just kind of regular pink, so a translucent resin or plastic or whatever on that would look fantastic. It could also just be a Ki Blast. They could do the black Kamehameha, which I honestly kind of wouldn't be opposed to having that in a nice purple. Whoo, mama, that would be sick. Why wait for the re-release? Grandista Gotenks is currently available for $16 on Amazon US. That's true. My man is super cheap on Amazon US right now. In fact, I'll leave a link to that in the description too if you want to pick this man up. I also did a review on him if you would like to take a look at that figure. It's pretty good. breaking news. March FES 12 Super Saiyan Goku and Kid Goku, April GX Materia Goku Black. Oh yeah, so I guess I didn't talk about this in the last video. I forgot. I did. Yeah, if you were confused, Goku Black. Basically, this sheet right here is telling us a bunch of upcoming prize figures. So for the March FES, we are apparently getting a Super Saiyan Goku and a Kid Goku, which will be absolutely fantastic. Obviously, more Dragon Ball figures are always welcome, just like I said earlier. And the April GX Materia will be the Goku Black. So that will be super cool. I'm really hoping that it's Rose. Because obviously it doesn't specify. This was obviously 2 ones ago with the Gohan. It could be the Black Kamehameha, which I assume will probably be what it is if it's a base form Goku Black. But if it is Rose, hopefully it is the Scythe. That would be very cool. Oh yeah, that would be awesome. It would be cool if it was the orange Gi version of this guy, because what they do is that they do tend to re-release figures that they already did in the FES line, and they'll give them a recolor. So we can kind of assume that it is going to be Goku in that Gi, but it might not be, but we'll see. All things considered, though, I would not be opposed. Oh, this was also something very cool that I thought I'd mention. Not necessarily news, but something that I definitely thought that I'd include nonetheless. Speaking of FES, the homie Omo, I don't know what else to call him, because I know it's Omo Chala Hechala, but man, it's such a mouthful to say all that. This guy runs a fantastic figure news website, by the way. You should definitely check it out. Has kept track of all the different versions of all the different figures. Surprise, we're circling back to Super Saiyan, considering Super Saiyan 2 hasn't happened yet. Hopefully that means FES is going to be consistent release again. So, 2 things to tell you about this. One, FES was pumping out figures, I believe more like 2017, 2018-ish time. And as you can see here, this is exactly what I was talking about, where figures get the repaint version, right? So you have Super Saiyan 4 Goku with a little bit of darker color scheme. We'd had the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta announced recently. Godku has not had anything. We've had the 3 different versions of the Super Saiyan Blue Goku, with one of them being Kaioken. Obviously, we've had UI Goku with the Omen and the Mastered Ultra Instinct. Well, technically just Ultra Instinct. Sorry. Sorry to all the homies out there, bro. Nonetheless, though, more rosés. Obviously, the special version is just kind of a closer to shiny pink hair version. And then we have Kid Goku in this pose with the orange gi and the green one. We only have one of this Goku. This is a fantastic Goku figure. I have to get my hands on the Kaioken version of this guy at some point. But we have the base Goku powering up and then the Kaioken variant. We also have the Super Saiyan Goku and then the gold version. Bunch of different versions of Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I think this is the one that I have. Pretty sure that this is the one that I have. Still one of my favorite Super Saiyan 3 Goku figures to this day. And then we also have the new Super Vegito, and then of course the Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku. So it'll be interesting to see what they do for re-releases. Obviously, with some of these we're already done, some of them still to come, and obviously with some of them brand new, we probably won't get a re-release for them for a while. It is interesting to see, though, that there is no Super Saiyan 3, there is no Super Saiyan 2, rather, here, which I think is quite interesting. It'll also be interesting to see if they keep going with fusions, because obviously the only Gogeta we have from this line is Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and currently the only Vegito that we have from this line is Super Saiyan. So I assume that they're probably going to make a Super Saiyan Blue version of that guy, but we'll have to see. I would love a base form version of it, though, personally. And this is pretty big. GX Materia and FES March lineup confirmed for Super Saiyan Goku and Kid Goku, and GX Materia is going to be Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. So let's hope for the Scythe. I'm really hoping, bro. I'm really hoping. So here are the promotional images for all these figures. We have the Dokkan Battle 6th Anniversary prize figure. We don't know the name of this figure yet. We do know the name of the KUJI figure coming later in the video. But obviously, because they like to hide this and not tell us, it is kind of going to be a mystery until this figure is eventually released. Of course, in the corner there, they're talking about how in 2019 and in 2020, the releases for these were Vegeta and Gogeta, respectively. Both fantastic figures. I definitely think the Gogeta came out on top, all things considered, though I do still like the Vegeta figure, and I hope that they continue with these, because I think that it's so cool to A, be able to get some Dokkan figures, and B, get figures of the actual anniversary units. I think that's just so sick. And let's hope that they Let's hope that they don't shaft whatever figure comes from the KUJI version. But here's the promotional posters for FES. Super Vegeta looks really good. I might just get it just because. I don't know. I have plenty of them already, but I do really like the FES line. GX Materia Frieza and the History Box Goku. It'll be interesting to see if they do more with this new History Box line. I don't know if this is going to be a new line because I don't think that we've had anything under this jurisdiction before, but you can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. And actually, this was the exact Goku Black that I was talking about. Now the GX Materia April Goku Black confirmed to have Super Saiyan Rose, since we have the, oh, I forgot how to pronounce that, the Shinretsuzen figure. Hopefully it's a slice. So yeah, this is what I was talking about, where he has the little hand blade there. And then obviously these are the only figures that we currently have with the scythe. This is a minifigure, and again, this is just a solid pink piece, so hopefully, I'm hoping, Namco ordered 0 of the October GT prize figures. 0. GT really fell off this month. That's crazy. So basically Namco Arcades is what he's trying to say, which is crazy to think. Conservatively, 88 for Suiting Golden Frieza and Super Saiyan Vegeta. They were low elsewhere, but it's a very solid number, which may have just saved them. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, bro. They didn't order any for Namco, which is super crazy to me. Oh, yeah. Definitely for perfect face on Goku. I think so. It looks great. Ah, so this was also something interesting. Updated GX Materia Frieza higher up on the base. So he's saying he's wondering if it'll be closer to the final one too. FES 9 Kid Goku production image has it low, but the final was high, so there's a good chance it could be higher. Yeah, this guy was like super high off the ground. Homie was like flying up in the sky because obviously it references the Dragon Ball outro. But this is really cool. I hope that they keep the clear plastic stand because, or well, I guess that's not technically plastic, but I hope that they keep that clear stand because personally, I like that much, much better. I think it looks really, really good. It will be interesting to see where it plugs in though, because this one kind of looked like that it was an L shape where it went up and then it poked out and plugged into his back. But this almost looks like it just plugs into the bottom of the figure, so only time will tell how it looks. I will say, I do think that the key effect though on this one does look a little bit better than that one, but to be fair, in the past they still have looked good on the final versions, so we'll see. And this is all different angles here that we have for the updated versions. This does look really, really good, and it does indeed look like, as you can see, that there is a pole that's going right up into him. It is something interesting to note here that you can actually see the hole from that original production image where they had the black stand that went out and into him in like an L shape. So that is very interesting to note for the sake of production images rather, and I suppose by that regard production figures, because I wonder if that means that they use the same base, or they just forgot to not pull back the curtain on this one, and that really is the case. I'm not sure, but nonetheless though, this figure still looks great. I do think that the lighting on this one is terrible though. The lighting on the initial one was really, really good. It looks like they took this in my room, bro. Terrible lighting. But nonetheless though, still looks pretty good. Here is some more updated image of this guy. And a very interesting thing to note is that the entire figure is going to be held up by this blue plastic piece. It'll be interesting to see how that holds up over time, because that is literally just his leg that is connected there and is supporting the rest of the figure there. So that'll be quite interesting to see. I do think that that does give a better illusion. You can see that it's pegged in right there. It does give a better illusion of flight, but at the same time, I don't know if that's going to hold up. I guess it'll depend on the quality of the effect piece here. But nonetheless, though, very, very interesting. Also, lighting is still terrible. Let's see. We have for Japan releasing the DBS mini towels. Interesting. Very, very interesting. That Goku actually looks pretty solid, I'm not gonna lie. Good stuff here, though. Ah, Frieza. They spelled it that way. Doesn't Japan usually spell it F-R-E-E-Z-A? Very, very interesting. Interesting. Please, pretty sure these are new art as well. Well, at least Goku, Frieza, and 17 at least. Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure that Trunks art is maybe just like a, not a repaint, but like a different version of the generic Trunks pose. And I mean, to be fair, Vegeta hits that pose all the time, but the rest of them do kind of look a little bit different. Very, very interesting to see. Oh, that also is another thing that is definitely something to consider. What is this picture? Oh yeah, from the manga. The GX Materia Goku Black could also be the key sword. We haven't had that as all as a figure yet. Yeah, we definitely haven't had the key sword at all as a figure yet. So that would be pretty cool. Ah, here is the KUJI packaging for Boo. Looks pretty good. Obviously, the KUJI packaging is usually pretty clean. Oh boy, so this was a very exciting day. The KUJI started tomorrow in Japan. The regular figures seem to be Boo. The regular figures seems Boo and Jiren will be the most sought after, but all the regular figures will be releasing for Europe in 2021, so not much to worry about if the MV is too high for them. So we have some fantastic images of these guys coming up. Obviously, these are the small prizes for these guys. I do think that these cups actually look really good. I saw a video of somebody unboxing these, and they looked fantastic. The illustration is cleanly printed on there, and somehow it kind of reminds me of Toriyama's art style. I can't really tell you why. And here are the towels, though. I still think these ones look stinky, and I think that the smaller ones look better. But these cups look really good. Here are some of the clear files as well. Definitely some good looking stuff here. Obviously, some of the promo art is a little bit weird, like we talked about in a couple of past figure news videos, but I still think that for the majority of it, it looks pretty good. This is also the packaging of the Ozaru Vegeta. This packaging was similar to the Japanese version of the Golden Ozaru packaging, so it makes sense that it was like this, because obviously it's a lot easier for Japanese fans to be able to, transport home from when they get it in Ichiban KUJI. We actually did get a box for this guy, though, for the Golden Great Ape Goku. Well, I guess it was technically Golden Great Ape Baby? I'm not sure who technically the Golden Great Ape was for that set, but nonetheless, though, officially released. Here are some in-person images of Kid Buu. This guy does look a little bit better than I think some of the original images. I will say, all things considered, I do still think that his pants look a little bit weird, like I said before. I think that they do still look a little bit low, and I think that his face is a little bit weird, but it's definitely not as weird as I thought it looked before. And plus, Kid Buu's just kind of a weird looking character anyway, so to be fair, I think it sort of fits his look. And this was a figure that I was highly impressed by. I think I'm actually going to get this guy, because I have the Bam Presto Full Power Jiren on back order. But this figure, oh my gosh. This guy looks really good. And this guy is huge. I'll show you some more figures for comparison later. And some crazy pictures that we have of this guy. But this guy is giant. And he looks great. He's super bulky. He looked a lot worse in those original images, I gotta say. But seeing him in these, like people taking the pictures, I think he looks fantastic. The only complaint I have with him, and I think we'll get a better picture of it later, is his elbows. But I'll take a look at that later. Moving on here, we do have some more professional looking images of the Vegito and Frieza. This looks so much better, I think, in terms of the eye positioning than the other image. Maybe this is just what they did, maybe it was just the angle that they took the pictures at, but I think that this looks really good. Again, the detail on the gi is fantastic. The expression looks really good, and honestly, that base ain't too bad, all things considered. I might pick this guy up. I'm starting to like him more and more. Frieza's face looks so good. Production images imply the stand is going to be black, so probably not the final version. But yeah, here we have Frieza, and this guy looks fantastic. Look at that face, bro. That is great. It is also nice to see as well that there are the sparkles in here, just because with the other images, it kind of looked like that they're taking out some of that more key effect detail, but this image makes it look absolutely fantastic. Look at that very nice effect piece. Very good stuff. Hope and Bandai restored, baby. We also have some images of the Ozaru Vegeta. This figure looks so good. I have been talking about it for so long now on the figure news. And man, every time I see it, I'm just so impressed. The detailing on the mouth looks fantastic. The detailing on the sculpt of the armor looks so good. Oh, man. More pictures of the history box Goku, as you can see. These are just some more high quality images of these guys. Obviously, when we get the initial production images, they're not always that crisp HD quality. But those look pretty good. This was also the Piccolo. We do also have an interesting development with this guy, because I don't think this was mentioned on DBZFigures.com. This actually, it does come with these two boys here, which is pretty cool. So very nice to see that they are getting included as well. I do like that about some of these more premium figures. It seems that the official ones, they tend to include something a little bit extra. I will say, if that drives up the price, I'm not really okay with that. But if it's only like a couple more bucks to be able to get something a little bit extra, I don't think I'm opposed to that. As well, it's just nice to be able to, you know, have some representation for characters that probably wouldn't have it otherwise. Here are the November Goku Black and Gogeta images, final versions of these guys. They actually do look pretty good. I don't know how I feel about that Gogeta, I'm going to be honest, but it's not bad. Another angle, and they look pretty good. I do think Gogeta's face looks a little bit funny there, but nonetheless, though, still pretty good. All right. Let's keep on keeping on. Some more pictures of this guy. Oh! Ooh, baby. It's so good. I don't think I can tell you anymore, to be honest, because I've already said literally everything. But so good. Very interesting to see as well that it seems like that this guy is held up by his tail, though that might not be the case, because I will say, I believe, if memory serves, the Golden Ozaru actually did have a posable tail, so it does kind of look like that that's the case here, but that does also sort of look sculpted to me, and it doesn't look posable, so we'll have to see. Nonetheless, though, still very, very good. Oh yeah, this was something funny that I figured I'd throw in here. A Capsule Corp spaceship mug. Very, very weird. I don't know how I feel about the handle, to be honest. And also, I feel like drinking out of this shape would be super awkward, because, like, wouldn't it roll down the glass when you're tilting it back? I don't know. Kind of weird. Ah, yes. So we have some images of these guys. I will also, let's see. Well, we won't take a look at, let's see. I guess we'll take a look at those really quick, and then we'll take a look at these solo images of them. So here are the different angles of all of these guys. Goku looks fantastic from every single angle. Trunks looks even better, I feel like, from this angle especially. And Goku Black still kind of looks the same, to be honest. I do like the effect piece, though. No real change, all things considered, when it comes to B-Pan. And then Gohan. So we'll start with him for the individual images. And I'll get my thoughts on these, because I want to give my thoughts on these with all these different angles and production images and stuff. I am still not the biggest fan of the face. I don't think it looks that bad, all things considered. I'm not really a fan of the hair. I know that it's supposed to be the Super Saiyan 2 hair, kind of sweeping back a little bit, but I still think it looks a little bit too elongated for my taste. I will say, it is really, really nice to be able to see the figure from this angle, because if you take a look here, the blue shading is really, really nice. Obviously, a little bit on the hand, some on the arm, and some on the rest of the body. Because from the front angle, it kind of just looks like he's sort of blue tinted, but you can really see the detail here, which I think is very, very nice. That little bit of blue highlight is such a nice little extra for this figure. You can also see a little bit extra there. There's even some blue shading in his hair, and that's the back of the figure. The head looks like he don't got no neck from this angle, which is kind of weird. And obviously, I still think that the hair is a little bit too thin and elongated, but definitely not the worst. Let's take a look at the individual images for these guys, because I do believe we have them, some of them, I think. I guess we'll just take a look at them here, because I think we have all of them individually. Yeah. Trunks, his face is still a little bit weird, all things considered. It feels like it almost comes out like a duck bill. But it does look pretty good. I still don't think it looks that good from the front. Also, I still don't understand why the paint on the eyes is so small and why it's not farther down. Looks really weird. I might actually paint mine myself once I get it, because I think that the rest of the sculpt looks pretty decent, all things considered. I will say, though, from this angle, he looks really, really good. I almost feel like this is the angle that he was meant to be displayed from, weirdly enough. We do have the Goku Black as well. Again, not much difference with this guy's different angles. It is still cool to see him look like this, but I do think that the face is still a little bit off-putting. Funny enough, I do think that this might actually be a really, really good way to display the figure, because there is a shot of Goku Black like this, and I'm pretty sure that he's in this outfit when he's looking over the city, right? And it looks pretty good like this. It also just gives huge Goku Black vibes of him looking over the burning, future. Well, very cool nonetheless. I still think that the face is a little bit off, like I said, but I do like the hair sculpt. And one thing I really appreciate about it is that they included this little tuft, because I feel like a lot of Goku figures, and I guess by proxy Goku Black, tend to not include that little hair tuft. And a lot of the time, base Goku is depicted with having that little hair tuft. So, a very nice inclusion, I think. Pan also looks pretty good. I do think that her general sculpt is really, really good. Again, her face still seems to be a little bit off to me, but it's definitely not the worst. I think that her mouth is kind of elongated. Like, it's a little bit too bottom and top wide. It's too wide horizontally, I think. If they put her eyes maybe a little bit farther apart and then made the mouth closed a little bit more, I think that it wouldn't look as odd. But it's definitely not bad. And I think that, again, the overall sculpt looks absolutely fantastic. Funny enough, I think that Goku is the only one that he didn't actually post individual images of, so I guess we'll just kind of look at them like this. This looks really, really good, though. Even from the back, it looks pretty good. I like that the effect parts kind of just tab in. Very, very nice. Also nice to see that they actually printed Goku's gi logo on the back. Very, very good to see that as well. Front angle also looks really, really good, I think. This is a perfect way, I think, to display the figure because it's almost like the effects are like exploding off of him. And then obviously we have this other angle here from the other side. I think that this angle is a little bit funny, but it still looks really, really good in my opinion. And a nice thing to note as well, and I know the boy Baggy will be happy about me noting this, there is white trim on the boots, which is a characteristic of Goku that is sorely missing from the figures that should have it. So very, very good to see. And the fire part also looks really, really cool. Obviously, the overall sculpt looks really good too. It is interesting to see that his shoulders are a little bit shiny, so it'll be interesting to see how that ends up. But nonetheless, though, I do think that all of these guys overall looks really, really good. I think that they look good. Here are, by the way, some other production images of them. Interestingly enough, these ones seem to have a little bit more shadow, because as you can see here, Gohan was never shown like this yet. And it's very, very interesting to see the shadow on this, because I almost feel like it oddly makes the figure look better. It's kind of weird. Kind of shows you what lighting can do to a figure. But at the same time, it also makes the ball look a little bit more silly, all things considered. But nonetheless, though, still pretty good. And obviously Goku Black and Trunks. The shadow on Goku Black. Ooh! Any shadows on a Goku Black figure. I know that's not obviously on the figure, but like when you're taking a picture, it just makes it look so much more menacing. It's so cool. We do have heights confirmed for these in a few weeks. Base won't be confirmed until it's actually released in Japan. This guy has still not been released, by the way. We talked about this figure a long, long time ago. I don't know if I'm actually going to get this guy. I do really like the hair sculpt, but the face sculpt is a little bit odd, in my opinion. But it's definitely not bad. It almost kind of reminds me of the FES UI Goku. But I really like that the way that the shirt is ripped. I don't know. We'll have to see when it comes to that, man. Definitely not bad looking, though. We did have Adverge 13 released for Asia. This was the set that we talked about a while ago that was all of the Namek-themed stuff. Very, very nice set. We did have some cleaner production images for these guys. Now we can get them in that crisp HD quality. Very, very nice. I'm not going to show these too many times because obviously, you know, kind of pointless to show it over and over again. I know that, you know, quality is a little bit better, but still. Also, here we go. My man is literally spitting. I forgot I retweeted this, but he's right. Think that the different lighting production images will be the packaging shot, similar to how we had the disco production images for some previous KUJIs, which turned out to be the packaging shot. Yeah. Look at the difference in this comparison here. I think that, weirdly enough, you can kind of see the blue tones more on this, but I think that this almost makes the figure look a lot better. It looks really, really cool like this, I have to say. Especially with Gohan's eyebrow being a little bit more up on that side and having the shadow be on that side. It really emphasizes the look, I think. And it makes it look really, really good. It's good stuff. Dragon Ball Adverge 14. This is going to be the newest Dragon Ball Adverge set after the Namek Saga set. I will say, this is a really good looking set. But, like, what is the selection of characters, bro? This is so odd. Yeah, of course, you know, we got all my favorite Dragon Ball characters here. Master Roshi, Tien, Chaozu, Oolong Kid, Goku, Broly, and Bardock. Why? I don't understand. I mean, I'm not opposed because the set looks pretty good. I really like the look of this Kid Goku. I will probably end up getting him. Maybe the Master Roshi as well. I do kind of want some sort of Oolong figure, so I'll probably get those because I do really like them. It looks like the Oolong does come with Chaozu though. It looks like there'll be a 2-pack set and then you have to get Tien separately. Though Chaozu does look a little bit big compared to Tien. I kind of remember him being a lot smaller in comparison to Tien, but nonetheless though, still pretty, I almost said still look pretty good. Ooga booga 8 brain. Sorry, I'm tired bro, but I'm enjoying myself here. Super Saiyan Bardock also looks pretty good. It's very interesting to see the difference between the dummy thick Super Saiyan Broly there and the hair on both of them, because Bardock's Super Saiyan hair is a lot darker than the lighter tone of Broly's. I don't know if that's how the Super Saiyan hair looked in the Broly movie. I can't really remember. I will say it is very interesting as well to see the difference in skin tone between the quote-unquote legendary Super Saiyan Broly and the Super Saiyan Broly, because that, well, the blue is very nice on the hair, I will say. I do think it fits that form nicely. But, like, his skin is a lot darker. It's just kind of weird to me, considering that they're the same character. I don't know. I don't think either one looks bad, though. I think that they both look really good. But I definitely think that Kid Goku is the star of the show. And, well, having him on Nimbus is just, like, a plus, all things considered. Also, sorry, I'm putting something on my hands in the background. And then we also had the power pole included as well. Not to mention this gi for Goku too, with the blue gi, bro. Oh, man. That is a good figure right there, ladies and gentlemen, if I do say so myself. But a good set nonetheless. Very happy to see it. Confirmed so far for Europe. Looks like the Super Saiyan God Goku and Trunks have a slightly higher price, possibly due to the effects, which kind of didn't end up being true for America, but we'll get to that later. Confirmed so far for Europe. Looks like oh yeah, we already read that. Asian and US, won't worry yet, since the other February KUJIs have been listed yet. Bada bing. Oh, this is actually pretty cool. So it looks like this Super Saiyan Trunks figure that the Rasudam one was based on that pose from the card game, which is interesting. Okay, so we have some pics from Omo of the Boo. The lines on the body and how good the sculpt is making me think it's Takamatsu's work, but since it isn't a Saiyan, it's hard to say with certainty because he doesn't work on Saiyan figures a lot. So this guy actually does look pretty good. I really like the pink tones of this figure. I think that they did a good job capturing Majin Buu's pink pretty well, because sometimes I think that the pink looks a little bit weird on him, but he looks pretty good. I do love the detail on the back. I think that the connection at the head also looks really good. And the slight shading on him looks really good. You can tell when Bandai tries, is what this image right here shouts to me. Because this image right here shows me that Bandai was really trying with this figure. Because all of this extra shading and stuff here is something that they don't always include, but it's super appreciated when they do. Especially they colored in like the lines a little bit of darker shade. Like you can kind of see they did a little bit of shading in the actual like cracks of the detail lines here and stuff like that. Very good stuff here. And here's the figure. Unfortunately, as this person does point out here, there is a line through the homie's head. This was also the case with the previous Ichiban Kuji Krillin. We also took a look at that figure before on Figure News and the crack in his head. So kind of unfortunate to see, though I will say it is a little bit harder to notice with Kid Buu. Like, I don't think I've seen it on any image until that very side shot. I think it just kind of blends in decently well from different angles. But it does look really good. I like it quite a bit. We should hopefully get the date for these and the full November wafer stickers lineup soon from V-Jump. Obviously, this was the November wafer figures. These look really good. We took a look at these a while ago in August. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I love that last, the mini prize there. So good stuff. The Namek Saga out of the box, obviously it's the bottom row, not the top row there. These guys look pretty good. It's always nice to see some representation from some Namek Saga stuff, because we get Super Saiyan Goku all the time, but we don't always get the rest of these characters. And obviously, you know, it's nice to get some figures that are not typically released. Like, I don't remember ever having a Vegeta with the hole in his stomach and the Saiyan armor from that, like, you know, particular part of the Namek saga. Obviously, Gohan in the armor is also a figure that is very much needed. Piccolo also is very, very cool here, and so are Zarbon and Dodoria. I really like that Pod Frieza. I might honestly pick up the Gohan because that would be a fantastic figure to add to the collection. And I do like the Vegeta as well. It is nice to see some of these in person as well. I actually have that Gogeta in my computer right now. Super Vegeta looks pretty good, and I do like the dynamic pose in that Vegeta as well. Ah, so this was also interesting. From Plastoy, I almost said Japan. Out January. Money banks of Vegeta, Trunks, and Kid Goku. Very, very interesting. Obviously, these guys are a little bit less figures, more so as they are, well, I mean, they're literally piggy banks. And I think that they're definitely stylized, but I honestly kind of like the style. I like the Vegeta the most, I think. It looks pretty good. Trunks also looks very funny with his hands behind him in this pose. I don't think the Kid Goku looks that good, though, all things considered. I like the stylized look of the Vegeta and Trunks, but personally, I think this Goku just kind of looks bad. The detailing on Nimbus looks really good, but I don't know. Goku just looks a little bit more like a bootleg 3D model, or like if they tried to make like a 2000s, you know, 3D MMO of Dragon Ball. He kind of looks like a prototype Dragon Ball Online model. Very, very interesting stuff. Yeah, so as I talked about before, if you would like to pre-order these guys, they are available now on Amazon. I will leave links to this in the comment section below. In the description. Well, I mean, I can if you really want me to. You know what? Since I said it, sure, in the comment section. But also in the description below. Obviously, this is the homie, me. I'm my own homie, bro. You gotta respect yourself, you know, have some self-love. But these guys are available on Amazon. It was actually kind of funny. I wanted to talk about this in a video. I found that these guys were available by complete accident. I was chilling with a boy on Discord VC, and I was scrolling through some Ichiban KUJI figures on Amazon. I was looking through the KUJI tag, and I found these guys, which was crazy because they weren't under the featured tab in like the beginning. They were on like page 4. And when I sorted it by most recent, because I assume that they would have been, you know, higher on the list considering they were, you know, well, released literally like now for pre-order, they were still like page 4 for recently released. So I don't know what the homies over at Amazon were doing with these guys, but if you'd like to pick them up, definitely go do so. And here we go. These are the really high quality images of these guys. Interestingly enough, this looks like that these images are color corrected, so it'll be interesting to see if these are the final images of these guys, though these do look like the exact same poses as the ones that we saw in the previous production images to a T. But I do really like the bright colors on this figure. I think that the shading on the god hair looks fantastic with the darker tones sort of towards the bottom going up to the lighter, and this god hair is a lot more reminiscent of the actual saga that it's from, which is of course when he fights Beerus. The hair is a little bit more pink, and then kind of towards Dragon Ball Super Broly era, and as things go on it gets a little bit more red. Really, really good looking stuff. I love the look of the fire here as well. We also have a very, very interesting image for Gohan here. So I don't think that it actually glows, but this is something that is very, very interesting to kind of take a note of. So, well, let me read Baggy's tweet first. Wait. Is the implication of the production image here that the Gohan's Kamehameha effect glows? Look at the lighting on the front versus the back. I don't think that it glows because I feel like it would make the figure a lot more expensive, and I don't know how you would get that to like light up unless it was a glow-in-the-dark piece. I think that what they did is, and this kind of makes me, you know, leads me to believe that these images were color corrected a little bit. It kind of almost looks like to me that they made the ball a little bit lighter in like Photoshop or something like that. And then either the already existing paint that was on Gohan got a little bit brighter with the blue tint, or they just kind of made him look a little bit more blue. It is interesting to see though, especially compared to like this image here. There is a lot more blue. Like, you can't really tell as well that there's a lot of blue on the bottom part here. Like, you can kind of tell there, but it's really impossible to tell in the pants. But like in this image, there is some major blue on this guy. Like, you can see the blue shading all throughout, even on his knee, and a lot more defined on the actual shoes. So it'll be interesting to see how much of a blue tint that this guy has. I would love if this thing actually glowed, because I think that that would be well, frankly, a great excuse for Bandai to just make the Kamehameha affect the ball instead of making it something like the GX Materia line. But nonetheless, though, this guy is looking better and better, even though I initially thought that he was the worst. Now, this is also something super, super crazy that I definitely need to talk about here, even though I already did talk about it in the Dokkan Battle version of the news video. Breaking news, the SP award for the 6th anniversary Dokkan KUJI has been listed as Ultra Instinct. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, this distributor website for figures here, which is also in Spanish, I believe, is listing the special prize figure for the 6th anniversary KUJI as Ultra Instinct Goku. Now, this means a couple of things. A, the figure is going to be Ultra Instinct Goku. I suppose we technically don't know if it's going to be Omen or quote-unquote Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku. It'll be... I'm definitely thinking, though, it's going to be Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, simply because of the fact that we already have LRUI Omen Goku, and they're not going to make another transforming one. We already have the Int one. People have been asking for a standalone Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku, card for a while, too. It just doesn't make sense for it to be anything else. Hopefully the figure doesn't get shafted, because obviously in years past, the Goku got terribly shafted, and the Vegito Blue figure also got terribly shafted, which, by the way, the review of the last one version of that figure is coming this week. But I'm hoping that they do him justice, bro. Seeing all of this here, where are we? Here, all of this gives me hope. It gives me a lot of hope for, this figure to look good. Because in years past, the KUJI SP figures haven't looked that good. But they have been doing better with KUJI figures lately. So, the other thing that this could mean, now again, this is just kind of me shooting my shot and taking a guess, but for the homies on the figure side of the things, why it matters to you that this is Ultra Instinct Goku, besides the fact that that's what the figure is going to be, because this does potentially tell us what the prize version might be, because obviously, remember, we always get one version of the LR as a KUJI prize figure, or as a KUJI figure rather, and one version as a prize figure. Last couple of years it's been Gogeta and Vegeta. What we can kind of infer is that this is most likely going to be obviously a Tournament of Power character. If I had to take a guess, probably Blue Evolution Vegeta, because since we got LR Jiren a little while ago, full power LR Jiren, I really don't see them making another Jiren unless they make like one that transforms into full power, but that wouldn't make sense if the UI Goku isn't transforming. So, I definitely think that it's going to be a Blue Evo Vegeta, which, to be fair, is almost better, all things considered, because we have a lot of Ultra Instinct Goku figures already. And as much as I really want this figure to look good, I think the fact that we have basically no Blue Evolution Vegeta figures up until this point, and the fact that the prize figures for Dokkan have been very good in years past, I think that that's a killer combination, if you hear what I'm saying here. Basically what I'm trying to say is, hopefully that means that we'll get a Blue Evo figure, and hopefully it means that it'll look really, really good. So again, that's just sort of me inferring from all of this and what I know from the history of Dokkan and what I know from the history of figures. So take that with a grain of salt. But I wanted to include that nonetheless. And also, of course, we do have Baggy, simping for the boots. Gotta appreciate the man's dedication to the craft. Here we have the newest UDM set fully released outside of the box. I do still kind of want to get this Trunks because we don't typically get buff Trunks figures. Obviously, these guys are very stylized to the UDM style, and I think that that Super Saiyan 4 Goku actually looks really good. I might get the Metal Cooler, though. It is kind of a shame that he sort of looks more like a corn color rather than like an actual gold. But nonetheless, though, still looking pretty good. Can't get over how amazing Gohan is. For sure, it has to be Takamatsu's work. I will say, I really hope that this guy looks a lot better than the initial images, but I will say a figure's face isn't everything, even though I'm a big stickler of the face. But Baggy is right about the body of this figure. It is fantastic. There is so much detail here in the legs. As you can see, there's so much minute sculpted detail into the pants. The shoes look absolutely fantastic. My man's got the Namek 7s going on. Even the detail in the hair does look pretty good. And I will say the muscle definition is really, really good. And I love the damage all over his body. It looks good. And the hand sculpt too, looks good. This does kind of alarm me a little bit. The paint on his leg here, because it doesn't really match the rest of the figure. But nonetheless, though, I am still holding out on a prayer. This homie's saying look at the faults, because I do see a little bit of black there. But Baggy does have a point there. They did fix the gap in the Legends KUJI's hair, so it still looks like it's the prototype, and it seems like it'll hopefully be fixed in the final version. So only time will tell for that. We'll see. We'll very much so see. This is also something interesting if you're planning on picking up this guy. The MV of the Ozaru Vegeta is about 17k yen now. KUJI did start only a few days ago, and given the amount of participating stores, it may come down to 10k or less once more, and lots clear watch. So basically, man saying that the price might go down. Let's hope so. Because I'm praying, because I want to get that guy for sure. Thumbs on the trunks sure seems to be Takamatsu's work, unsurprisingly given some of the extra detail on trunks like the sword slash. So this is obviously one of these little brighter production images. I love the detail on the band here though. Very, very nice looking stuff. And the clear effect piece also looks really, really good. I do like the handle though. It looks pretty good. And I do like that the color that they chose for this, even if this image is a little bit color corrected, because it does look like Spirit Bomb. It seems that the wafer DP art that gets picked is the one with the reuse. That probably means that for November it will be the Vegito art. That will be quite interesting to see. And that is actually everything that we have for today. I am very, very excited to be able to get all of these figures and show them off to you guys. They unfortunately do not ship until 2021 of June, so we'll have to wait quite a fat minute to be able to get our hands on those Dokkan Ichiban KUJI figures. Before I go, and before I tell you again that if you would like to pick those figures up, the link is in the description below. I do want to show you some pictures of some stuff from the Jiren figure that we were talking about a little bit earlier, because this guy is absolutely humongous, bro. We have a picture of him in the box. I will pop it on screen right here. Look at this. This was a picture that I screenshotted from Instagram. Credit to the homies up there. This box is giant. Oh my gosh, bro. That box is as big as that homie. This guy is huge. This quoted tweet, by the way, is just the tweet that we already looked at. But holy cow. That is an incredible size for that guy. I have to say, this man is an absolute lad. I do want to show you as well. There are some images that we can get from a video. That literally made no sense. But the homie YP, which is a Dragon Ball figure collector in Japan, recently made a video talking about Jiren compared to some various prized figures. And I just wanted to show you a little bit of the video, simply because it does show off the size of Jiren a lot better than this image does. Because obviously if you don't really know the size of this figure, you can't really tell, right? Here is the size of Jiren compared to the homie YP, bro. This guy is a monster of a figure. Look at this boy, bro. This thing is huge. Look at him gripping it. Look how giant that thing is. That's insane, bro. Absolutely crazy. So I just wanted to show you the absolute size of this lad, because he's huge. YP also does a nice little meme here where he compares the Jiren to a bunch of different Ultra Instinct Goku figures. Obviously, we're not going to go through the whole thing because this video is at 11 minutes long, but of course, I will leave it linked in the description below. I did watch through the whole thing, and a lot of these MUI figures do pair very well. This does, though, highlight the only problem that I have with this figure, and that is the elbows. I know I was saying before it was kind of hard to tell from that angle, but this angle it's a little bit easier to tell. They are extremely pointy, and I don't know if I necessarily like that. They kind of remind me of the elbows on the Tag Fighter base form Goku from the final scene with Goku and Frieza when they fight Jiren, ironically enough. But I think that the rest of the figure looks great. It's pure Jiren, bro. And the face on him too? Oh, man. It just looks so good. It looks like, oddly, like, detailed in and almost like kind of cartoony, but I think that that works for Jiren's overall cartoony look. Nonetheless, though, very, very good looking figure. I just wanted to show you him in comparison to the homie YP, showing you that this man is huge. So shout out to the homie YP, of course. Leave links to everything in the description below. I will. I am now talking like Yoda because I've been talking so long, apparently. Of course, if you'd like to pick up the Dokkan figures one more time, links to that in the description. Of course, thank you to DBZ Figures and the homie Baggy Sand for always holding it down with the figure news. It will be interesting to see what we get going forward. Obviously, if we get some crazy Dokkan news about the particular figures, I will probably do a figure newsflash video on those, just like I did for the 6th anniversary Ichiban KUJI Dokkan set. So keep an eye out for that. Of course, just like I said in that video, I will still be including all of that stuff in this main video because I know people like it when I just kind of talk about everything. And also, too, I just kind of like talking about it again. And it also allows me to give more of my expanded thoughts since these videos are like an hour long anyway. So nonetheless, though, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Dokkan Assets out. Peace.